Good evening. We back. Yo, I need y'all to get the likes up. What's popping? Couple things to talk about today. Kenya B, what up? I see you. I am doing good. King Lil YG, what's up? Sunny Boy Boxing. Thank God you here. I told you I can't leave boxing alone. The game needs me. The game is trash without boxing ego. Trash, trash, trash. Do you understand, Octavia? I see you. Ego's Army for a minute now. People get mad when I toot my own horn, but you ain't gonna do nothing. That's what I do know. You can get mad all day, but you ain't gonna do nothing. When you see me in the street, you ain't gonna do nothing. Hey, boxing is trash without me, B. I'm what counts in these boxing streets. So we gonna talk about it. Bro, I just be sitting back and watching, paying attention. Right now, boxing is dry as a mother. It's super dry right now. Like not in a good way. Boxing feel it feel empty right now. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. But right now, boxing is it looking like it's on life support. We gotta bring this back, make boxing fun again. Yeah, we gotta bring it back. And I'm gonna explain why boxing feels like this, because I think I have an idea. But first, let me see if you even agree to that. Do y'all agree? So why you still talking about boxing then? Because I get paid handsomely? Any more questions? This is my job. I get paid a chunky check to talk about boxing. That don't mean it's free of problems. Any more brain busters? Maja current. We got our first hater. So why are you talking about boxing, bro? No matter what, no matter what I talk about, it could be movies, music. There's gonna be peaks and valleys of that. Right now, music is trash too. Maja, he wearing shirts from Ross. Absolutely. Maja, he had TJ Maxx. He had TJ Maxx as we speak, waiting in line. Shout out to James Carey. Eagles Army stand up. When they hate, donate. That's all y'all got to do. We gonna get this right. Shout out to James Carey. I see you, boy. Uh, it won't pick up until November. Bro, the game is looking trash right now. It's not watering, it's a question. I answered your question. You said, why am I talking about boxing? I said for the money. Now what else? What else? What other question you got? This is my job. This is how I get paid. This is how I pay my bills. So that's why I'm talking about it. Doesn't mean boxing is perfect, because it's not. And like I said, some of y'all didn't want to listen to the Dawn. You can listen to me. You can listen to whoever you want. The Canelo Crawford fight is a major reason why we are here, and not in a good way. I told you this is why I didn't want to see that fight. Well, okay. What good has come of Canelo Crawford? We'll start there. Tell me, like, as a sport, the good that came from Canelo Crawford. Dana White did a great job? No. The fight was amazing and memorable? No. The face of boxing got knocked off? Yes. Huh? You tell me what was great about Canelo Crawford. Don't all speak up at once now. Bro, this is what I was trying to tell y'all. And y'all, oh, ego. Now look at us. Bro, after a major fight, right? What I believe to be a major fight, boxing shouldn't feel like this. Like all y'all complain about Mayweather Pacquiao, but boxing didn't feel dry as a week after Mayweather Pacquiao. I know it didn't for a fact because the very next Saturday, Canelo fought Kirkland. So boxing was perfectly fine. They dumped all this money into this fight, promoted it horribly, and then what good has come? Crawford getting arrested or whatever in his own hometown. That was an L for Omaha. The day of his parade, the day after getting the keys to the city. Canelo looks stupid. He got beat up by a smaller person. Now Ring's trying to save him, talking about he injured. This is what I told y'all. Y'all didn't want to listen to the Dawn, and here we are. Crawford, like, the performance was great from him. He had a parade, and then he get driving while black. He get driving while blacked in his own city. That looks stupid, bro. And then Canelo, like I just said, they building excuses as to why he lost. Oh, his elbow. Canelo had the funny bone. Something was wrong. He had tennis elbow. Bro, I'm not trying to hear none of that. Canelo got cooked. It's over. I don't care about no elbow, tennis elbow, funny bone. He got cooked. Getting pulled over in your own city in your parade. Bro, them Omaha cops don't care. Because there's no way you didn't know who that was. Bro, he had a million Nebraskans. I try to tell y'all about the children of the corn, the Nebraskans. They play by different rules. I try to tell you. Bro, the man had a parade. Like, I'm out here in the Bay. So imagine the years the Warriors won a ship, right? Can you imagine Steph Curry like just riding through Oakland? You feel me? He ride through Oakland the day of his parade, and then OPD just pull him over like, get out the whip. Like, what? Bro, get Omaha out of here. That was crazy. That was crazy. And we got stuff that go on in the town, but they not doing that to Steph, bro. They not finna pull the blick out on Steph when he just brought a ship home. You feel me, to the Bay Area. Yee. You feel me? It's not happening, bro. That's straight up Nebraska for you. Bro, and he pulled the blick out too. Bro. I just watched Ballerina. He thought he was in Ballerina, bro. He held the gun like he John Wick. Get him out the way, bro. Hey, that is crazy. It's crazy. Hold on, bro. The violation is just like, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. That was just like, you violated, bro. Bro got the keys to the city just to get pulled over. That's what I'm saying. So the whole fight, like, okay. If somebody beat Floyd Mayweather, they're not getting pulled over a week later at weapon point. I don't want to say the word. At blick point. So this fight, to me, didn't reach the masses. Just the fact that would happen proved to me that this fight really didn't do nothing crazy. Bro, hold on. If somebody beat Floyd Mayweather when he was the top of the sport. You think they getting pulled over at weapon point? Honestly, you think somebody pull it? If you just beat Floyd like Canelo got beat up by Crawford, you think they just pulling you out the whip like that? Come on, bro. The cop must have had a bet on Canelo. The way he pulled him out, that was stupid. He must have bet on Canelo, lost the home and mortgage. So yeah, I don't really see no good that came from this fight, bro. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I told you I was going to squash my side of the beef with Crawford, but I'm not going to stop speaking my opinion, right? So take it for what you want. Crawford tried to be like friends with everybody. You know what I mean? See, this is what happens in the black community. Let's be real. Where he be like, "Oh, I got a ton of Mexican fans and Latino fans and white fans. And, you trying to be peaceful towards everybody and be cool instead of giving it to you raw like Boxingego do, right? But then when these situations happen, that's what do people revert back? What do they revert back to? Man, see what happens when you black in America? But then when Boxingego been trying to tell y'all that, y'all said I was tripping. Now this is gonna go over some people's head, and I don't care because I'm not trying to reach them. I don't give a about them. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Cool. But what I'm saying is Bud try to be cool with everybody, and he don't really speak on certain issues ever. And then until something like this happen, and it don't feel good, do it. You know what I mean? And you notice in boxing, the Bud fans, the Shakur fans, the Devin Haney fans, they all gravitate towards hating Gervonta Davis. And then when he got like police pulling up at his door and body cam, y'all spreading that and feeling no types of ways for Gervonta Davis at all. But then when something happens to Precious Bud, and he get pulled over, people are like, "Oh my gosh, there's really a problem." You know what I mean? But when Gervonta, he was complaining about the Baltimore judge, said she don't want him to make a living and all that. Y'all didn't care about none of that. So I'm just saying, keep it real, keep it even, Steven. Mayweather was the bad and owed. So yeah, I don't know what type of time the police was on. I feel like you would have had to have known who Crawford was. So it made the whole city look bad to me, bro. The day they give you keys to the city, and you see Omaha PD pull him over on some like get out the whip. Now the report said he was reckless driving, and there was a blick on the ground. I don't know. That's what it reports. So it is what it is. Mayweather was a bad guy and owned it. Not on the ground, on the floorboard, maybe is a better way to put it. Shout out to Kenya B. Not on the I said ground, but that don't make sense. I meant on the floorboard of the car. They said Bud on the passenger side had a weapon. So I don't know. That's what they're claiming. Um, if that is in fact true, I really don't see nothing that's probably gonna happen to the cop. No matter what you say, if you know the law, you know the rule. If he had a gun on the floorboard while he was driving and he was reckless driving, those two things, that's enough for them to pull you up out the whip. F the lecture, I'm watching Ego instead. Good choice. I thought he was Kendrick is crazy. So yeah, I mean, people make it a big deal. I don't think nothing will happen to the cop unless they found some like training day level stuff he was doing. I don't see it. The cop ain't nothing finna happen to the cop, bro. Unless they uncovered some crazy like ill he was doing. But just off of that, that is just luck of the draw. You got pulled over. They claim you were reckless driving. They're gonna look at body cams and all that, street cameras and all that. Nothing's probably gonna happen though. But I'm glad Bud and his people, where everybody was cool. Nothing really happened from it. But it's just it's nasty to see that. Like, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody want to see that. Nobody want to see somebody have a great performance, have a parade, and then they get pulled over like at gunpoint. It's too much. Morales, great content. I try to tell y'all I'm him. I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. I'm giving y'all the content, and I'm working on things behind the scenes. So while other people do a lot of bumping gums, we working on this. We working behind the scenes, like always. I don't like to talk about it. I like to be about it. You feel me? I'm from the Bay Area, bro. There ain't nothing to talk about. I'll just show y'all when I'm done cooking. If he reckless driving in the Gat was on the floorboard, he had cause to do what he did. That's what I'm saying. I promise you, you got to know the law. If though that was in the report, I wasn't there, so I don't know what he had. I'm just going off what I read from the statement. If those two things are true, ain't nothing happening off that cop. Because although it looks bad, like, dang, he just had a parade. You probably knew who he was. You have to think of it in the mind of a cop. If a cop pulls you over, and like, let's say reckless driving, so that means you're like speeding or going down the wrong way, one way, or you're doing something that caught his eye, according to the cop, right? You get pulled over, and then when they stop you, they see on the ground, and there's a gun that's in reaching range for somebody. They're pulling you out the whip because they're going to teach you in police academy it's better to be safe than sorry. So it did look nasty and the optics look really bad, but if those two things that the report said persist and the evidence shows that there was a blick on the ground or on the floorboard, sorry, I keep saying ground, on the floorboard, then I don't see nothing that's going to happen to the cop, bro. Because even if it's like an open and carry state or like you had a license, which Crawford does, he has the weapons have a license, you don't immediately know everything when you pull somebody over. You see what I'm saying? You don't know if someone's on PCP. You don't know if they're just got in an argument with their girl. You don't really know all that. So it'll probably blow over. To be honest, I would be surprised if they made the cop do an apology, personally. So there's that. Now, Canelo going out sad, bro. Who remembers me saying I did not like Canelo Crawford? That's all I was talking about. But I want you guys to admit it. Who remembers Boxingego said, I don't like this fight, Canelo Crawford. I don't like to fight Canelo Crawford. I don't like to fight Canelo Crawford. Who remembers that? We'll start there. Okay, Spo remembers me saying that. Absolutely. King Lil YG, absolutely. Kenya B remembers. Absolutely. Me, you said it hundreds of times. Now let's rewind and look at it because people said I was hating when I said it. Now look at it. The fight happened. Like obviously the powers that be put up the money. The fight happened. Do you feel it was worth it now? Do you think this was like great for boxing? Bro, I understand the Saudis have a lot of money, but I am here to tell you this. There's no one on this planet that can convince me that even if you have a lot of money, that investing in this version of Canelo is money well spent. You pay there. I don't know his exact salary. All we know is the Crawford fight was valued over $100 million. I've read reports that said $150 million Canelo got. Bro, Canelo done fleeced the Saudis because they came into the Canelo business far too late, and Canelo, based on his body of work and what they said was his value, he fleeced them. Period. If you had to pay 100 to 150 million for him to fight anyone not named David Benavidez, you got fleeced. There's no way that that was money well spent. To watch him fight a black welterweight and get cooked. And then before that, he fought William Skull, or whatever the Cuban name is. Nobody ever heard of Cud. Nobody knew who he was. And just to pick up that little funky IBF belt, he fought him. And he looked horrible in that fight, which I already documented when the fight happened. So some people thought he lost to William School. So you're 200 million at least in the hole with Canelo Alvarez by plucking him from the Jake Paul and PBC Netflix deal, right? You're 200 at the bare bones minimum. You're in the hole like 200 mil. And arguably Canelo's 0-2 in them fights because some people thought he lost to William Skull. Either way, he didn't have no bang up win. He looked horrible. So you can't tell me that anywhere in that echelon of Canelo's pay, let's say he got 50 million for the Williams School. 50 plus 100, that's 150. Let's say he made 150 M's versus Crawford 50, that's 200 M. No matter how you slice it, they're in the hole with Canelo, and now they're saying he's injured. Bro, get him out of the sport, please. I've been telling y'all for years, Canelo is done. And it's funny because some people were like under this impression, like, I protected Canelo. You sound stupid. You sound stupid. Some people were under the impression like I was going to be mad if Bud Crawford win. You sound stupid. Point blank period, you sound stupid. Canelo was holding belts hostage. I didn't even like the fight. I didn't give a about the fight. I didn't pick a winner for the fight. I just told you what was happening, period. Point blank period. So, if anything, I'm mad because the fight that boxing needed was Canelo versus David Benavidez. Now, how things have played out, I could care less if he fights Benavidez. Now, how things played out, Anthony Yard and David Morrell and guys that Benavidez fought or is fighting are probably more dangerous fights than Canelo Alvarez at this point. Canelo has lost it. I try to explain this to you. So I'll repeat myself only for the diehards that want to learn boxing. There's typically three types of fighters. I've already went over this. There's three styles of fighters. Brawlers, very self-explanatory. Come forward, plotting, brawlers, a lot of times power and chin. People who march forward. You got brawlers. You got insanely athletic guys. This is your Roy Jones Jr.'s. This is your Sergio Martinez's. These are guys that rely on athleticism, right? Even Muhammad Ali, I would say, kind of fits into that category. And then you have technical guys who have boxing fundamentals. They can box. Think Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker. Out of all three categories, the boxer and intelligent fighter is supreme. Not saying every time they'll win, but if you had 10 supreme thinking cerebral fighters, 10 brawlers, and 10 guys who rely on athleticism, the group that had the pure boxers that could box and use their brain, you'll have more of them that have a longer success rate for a longer period of time. Canelo falls into one of the first two categories, which means, from my estimation, he's cooked. He's not a cerebral boxer. And 65 fights in or so, he didn't improve. And he didn't evolve his style, which he probably should have done when he started getting old and having wear and tear. He started getting older. He should have refined his style, but he didn't. So now you with guys like Canelo, you're going to see a step down version of them, to the point where if they continue to fight and continue to fight the best, he will get knocked out. Book it. I've been ahead of my time so many times on this channel. If Canelo, I'm going to set the play up. If Canelo continues to fight and continues to fight the best, he will get knocked out for sure. So if he fight average pilgrims, he could probably beat those guys. He could beat guys like that maybe. Even Billy Joe Saunders, where it's domestic level guys. But if he fought like David Morrell, Beterbiev, guys like Bivol, Benavidez, there's a very strong chance he get knocked out, bro. See, I also said this, which is now official as well. Canelo, he has, in my opinion, he has no pathway to get back to the top at this point. None. The competition is too dense, too young, too big, too strong. And the way he's fighting is we've seen the best. I keep telling y'all how boxing works. It's just for those who want to listen. You don't have to listen, but Dan, you really think that it's over? Absolutely. Okay, here's why it's over for Canelo. I'm not even beating around the bush. One, if he fails another drug test, his whole career is tainted because it's already tainted by failing. So he can't fail no more drug tests because he already failed one before, right? So that's a fact. So He can't go the illegal way of like you see like Victor Belfort and like these UFC fighters that are clearly on TRT and stuff like that, right? So that is the only other way where you can revive some of what is lost in yourself as a fighter if you do it unnaturally. You see what I'm saying? But Canelo already used that pass up with the clenbuterol ahead of the Triple G fight. So if he fails another test, I mean, he gonna be like Povetkin or somebody. So that he can't cheat, and if he does cheat, he can't get caught. So cheating is pretty much out of the question or very risky. So you can't do something illegal to enhance what has been lost, right? And my thing is this: if you were going to refine your style, you would have had to do it years ago. The slippage has been gradual. Like, and let me tell y'all about life. I feel like some people expect the fall off to be steep, like, just bow. It don't happen like that. The only people who fall off like that are people who get arrested or you did something so like reprehensive that cancel culture erased you immediately. That's the only time where to fall off, you're like this and you just fall off like that. Is if you do something like and get arrested on a murder beef or something where cancel culture is like, you're done off of that one thing you did. That's the only time people fall off. More often, it's the frog in the pot. You put a frog in the pot and then you gradually increase the temperature. He don't even know he getting boiled up. That's Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez been moving how he wanted to move, right? Doing whatever and using that as a handicap he's been using that as a handicap for years now. That's all done now. Like, you got beat by a welterweight. I don't know how loyal your fans are going to be. I told you Crawford was like the worst person to lose to, given the fact that he started at lightweight and he was considered much smaller. You could have lost to Benavidez, Bivol. You already lost to Bivol, so we would have understood if you lost again. I'm telling you how boxing works. We could accept as fans if Better Be have knocked you out, even if Benavidez knocked you out, because it's like, all right, these guys are bigger than you. You're getting older. It happens. You got cooked by a welterweight, bro. It's over. I keep telling y'all the Saudis got such a raw deal with Canelo. I would be so upset. I don't care how much money I had. Now he's injured. He's done for the rest of the year, like I predicted. And they're saying he's not coming back till spring of next year. Get him out of here, bro. And y'all said I was hating with Canelo Crawford, all the dialogue, but now that everything's done and the temperatures have settled, now I look like a genius. Because here's the other thing. Where does Crawford go from here? So I explained this to you before, and y'all said I was hating. You can't really build your company like Zuffa is a new boxing endeavor. You can't build your company around aging fighters in a fight like that. I told y'all that. That is not a smart play because Crawford, he might be like, I done everything I needed to do. And boxing is not an easy sport, so he might retire. Even if he doesn't, who's he fight? Name who Crawford can fight that's equivalent, a bigger fight than Canelo. This is why I was strongly against moving around your chess pieces like this, because it's stupid and it just makes a mess. You don't rob Peter to pay Paul. That's what Turkey did. You shuffled around and played musical chairs with these fighters, and now Crawford, like, I ain't making 54 no more. The 54 is one of the strongest, if not the strongest division in all of boxing, and now we'll never get those fights at 54. None of them. Those, every fight at 54, to me, that is high profile, I would have preferred over what I watched with Canelo and Crawford that I never even wanted. I promise you. See, this is what I'm saying. This is why you got to get people that know boxing. If Crawford fought Jaron Ennis, I would have loved it. If Crawford fought Virgil Ortiz, I would have loved it. Fundora, Murtazaev, you know, Virgil Ortiz, Erickson Lubin. These are all great fights. Jermell Charlo. Let Jermell get like a tune-up or so. Then fight Jermell Charlo. These would have all been better fights for Bud Crawford. And then after you cleaned up some of these dudes, if you're still victorious, then you fight Canelo as your like swan song. They jumped the gun to the point where there's no reason to play the rest of the game. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm dropping gems. You got to just be strong enough and smart enough to pay attention to them. What's the point of playing the game if you advance to the last level and see how the game ends? Part of the allure of playing a video game is to go through the levels, complete the missions, and then finally you complete the game. Crawford, you just gave him the biggest name you could give him, and he succeeded. Now what does he do? Everything else is like a backtrack. YouTubers don't know about boxing. Bud versus Canelo was a masterpiece. You don't know about YouTube. That's why you broke. What you talking about? Talking about YouTubers don't know ish. But you here, pay me. Najee 90. That goes out to you. And notice every time I start cooking, they start talking about YouTubers. I'm a YouTuber. Why are you saying plural YouTubers? I don't care what nobody else is talking about. We talking about what we talking about over here. Yeah, when they hate, donate. That's all y'all got to do. We gonna keep growing, keep making them mad. And then notice they don't prove me wrong. They just say you stupid YouTubers don't know nothing. That's it. Anywho, the fight was dumb. It continues to be dumb. And now Canelo's like injured. I'm not buying. I don't care. You lost. I told you, listen how I predict the game before it happens. Remember, I said, I don't care who wins. We're not making no excuses. Today, Ring Magazine. Oh, Canelo, he injured. He got an elbow problem and he needs surgery. No. Oh, well, I don't have. Bro, you made $150 million to fight a welterweight. I don't care. You got to figure it out. Because if you weren't able to compete, you should have pulled out the fight and postponed it. We're not doing that. We're not playing that. Crawford gets full credit. Just like I said, there's not going to be no excuses. I'm not accepting nut. If Canelo's nuts were broken, I don't care about none of that. If he had a broken jaw and broken hands, his nut sack was severed, I don't care about none of that. He lost. We're not making no excuses. You entered the fight. You said you was ready to go because look, they're turning boxing into a clown show, bro. After all of these losses, we start hearing about miscellaneous injuries and stuff. It's like Lomachenko lost. Oh, he had low sperm count. Like it's always something. Teofimo lose to Cambosis. They said his esophagus blew out. Like, come on, bro. Y'all some sore losers. Every single big fight, when the person that loses, after talking, like Canelo was like, I'm gonna knock out Crawford. I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna knock him out. It's gonna be an easy fight. And then now after the fight, oh, I drank some Mountain Dew. I got low sperm count because of the Red 5. And I don't care about none of that. You got cooked. Crawford dusted you off nicely. Had your leg buckle. It's over, Canelo. It's over, Canelo. And his fans, his idiotic fans are like, oh, yeah, I knew something was wrong with him. Bro, I'm not, no. Yeah, something was wrong with him, all right? He didn't jab. I watched a Floyd fight the other day. Floyd said mid-fight, I broke my hand, but I'm a champion. I'm going to do what I have to do. Shout out to Floyd the GOAT. Floyd said my hand is broken in this fight, but true champions adjust. And I know what it takes to win. And he won that fight, obviously, because he's undefeated. So, yeah, I don't care about Canelo's elbow. Mid-fight blew out. Yeah, bro. Every time a fighter lose, Pacquiao talking about he went to the ocean because his shoulder in the Floyd fight. Nah, bro. I don't care about that ocean. I want to my shoulder when my fight with Floyd. My shoulder, so I cannot do I cannot do. Girl, you know bro. I'm not listening to none of these excuses from these fighters, bro. Girl, you know The sea salt is Epsom salt. It healed him. Yeah, Pacquiao out here saying whatever. Yeah, we not doing none of them excuses, dog. If you get cooked, you get cooked. The next one is going to be Devin Haney and Brian Norman. I guarantee you there's going to be some excuses out this month. Bro, I'm not trying to hear no Devin Haney, Brian Norman excuses either. We're not playing that over here. Canelo should have fought Jake Paul. Who said that from day one? Boxingego. Me. That's who. I try to tell y'all. I said if Canelo wasn't finna fight Benavidez, he should have stuck to that Jake Paul fight. Canelo, you went the money route and got greedy and thought it was gonna be some easy money, and now you got cooked, and now you're probably regretting all your choices. And here's the thing: when you get greedy, if 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 Canelo fought Jake Paul and beat him, the boxing world would look at him as a hero because some of the boxing fans don't like Jake Paul. And he would have made crazy bread on that fight. And here's the thing. You notice the Tank haters? They keep saying like, oh, come on, Ego. Tank's fighting Jake Paul. Ah, why don't you say, I'm not saying nothing bad about Tank. You know why? Because it's Canelo's fault. Canelo left the Jake Paul negotiations at the 11th hour and created this void. There was no void if he would have, and that to me is a more reasonable fight because Canelo fought at 175. That's closer to 190 or whatever Jake Paul weighs than Tank, who weighs 135 pounds. So this all boils back down to Turkey, TKO, Zuffa, and Canelo, and Crawford. Y'all want me to blame Tank, but the void was only created by Canelo leaving and not fighting Jake Paul. Have you ever noticed there's always that guy that has no real experience, always talking the most? You got to put a name on that. What did he say? Bush, you ain't going to blame Canelo for tanking Jake Paul. Get the F out of here. Block him. That's exactly what we going to do. How you going to tell me to get out of my own chat? You silly fool. Get TKO Marco out of here. Yeah, get Marco Vasquez. Canelo got cooked. Deal with it. And I'm blaming him. And you ain't going to do nothing about it. And you getting blocked. Oh, he got blocked. Yeah. Yeah, shot. Get him out of here. He talking about, oh, you're not going to do that. Yeah, yes, I am. And you going to sit there and watch it. Yeah. Bro, I am the law. I'm the Judge Dredd of this boxing. That's absolutely who we're blaming. Why would I not blame Canelo when he was supposed to fight Jake Paul? Jake Paul already told you this. And Canelo told you this. So why would I not blame him when it's on record that the fight was pretty much done until Canelo got the deal from the Saudis and said, hey, I'd rather do this 4-fight deal with them, so I'm not going to fight Jake Paul. Canelo looks stupid. Do you understand? Yes, you made a lot of money in 2 fights, but now your career is cooked. You look stupid, sir. I don't care who. I'm willing to risk it all, like I always am, to tell the truth. Canelo looks dumb. You got a bunch of money for 2 fights, and now your career looks cooked. Now people are saying retire. Now people are saying Canelo is not the GOAT. Now people are saying that you almost got stopped. And if Bud had a couple more rounds, he might have stopped you. Now people are saying that there's no way Canelo is one of the greatest Mexican or the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. So shout out to John Humble. I see you. When they hate, donate. It's okay. So, yeah, we're absolutely blaming Canelo because he looks stupid. You look at the blowback he's received from losing in the fashion that he lost to a much smaller person. You could have virtually lost to anybody else. Even if you lost to Jake Paul, there's an angle. He's younger and he's 200 pounds. So even if you lost to him, that wouldn't be ideal. But you could at least say, I didn't know he's pretty big. He 200 pounds. You lost to the one month that's smaller than you that played all of your rules and still cooked you. So yeah, Canelo got greedy and he got found out. I don't care who's mad. Canelo got greedy and he got found out. And now he looks stupid. Because again, my number one point is you should have fought David Benavidez. It's always been my number one point. Additionally, if you weren't going to fight Benavidez for whatever reason, you didn't want to pass the torch, you could have fought Jake Paul, and it would have been a bigger event. You would have made a ton of money. And let me be real. Jake Paul is improving, but he not Crawford, bro. Crawford, the stuff that Crawford can do, Jake Paul cannot do. Let's just be real. Like, for example, Canelo got hit with a double rear left. Jake Paul ain't saucing nobody like that. Where from the rear hand, Crawford went like bow, and then he hooked off the very short hook. He said bow, bow, and then hooked Canelo and caught him like that. Jake Paul can't do maneuvers like that. You don't even see other top boxers doing that double left like he did. So no matter what, even with the weight disparity, Jake Paul cannot produce the performance that Crawford produced in that fashion. It's not possible, bro. Because Crawford is doing like advanced boxing maneuvers for a lifelong boxer. He doing some, like, ain't nobody switching like Crawford right now. Jake Paul, you ain't never seen him switch to southpaw and back and ever. Come on, bro. He can't do what Crawford can do. So yeah, no matter what happened, Canelo wouldn't have lost in that. He wouldn't have got dog walked like that, bro. Where you arguably lost mostly every round but 2 or 3. I think I gave Canelo 3 rounds, but the thing is, all of Canelo's rounds were like debatable. Like he didn't have solid rounds where he was just like, oh, that's a for sure. I think he had 1 round in there where it was like a for sure Canelo round. Everything else was highly contested. Do you think Boots has a higher ceiling than Shakur? Oh, that's an interesting question. I think anybody with power has a higher ceiling than Shakur. Not anybody. Let me say that's a bit much. Not anybody. Listen, Devin Haney and Shakur don't got no pop from to me. So anybody who's very skilled and very good that does have pop, you could do more because that, like Shakur, I don't see him having the same success if he keeps moving up in weight. Because if you're not really stopping guys at 35, how you going to stop them at 47 and 54? And bro, boxing, we are in like a recession in terms of talent in boxing. I'm not saying that none of these fighters are good, but the fighters of yesteryear is way different, way tougher. They taught the coaches were better because they taught you stuff they don't even teach anymore, right? They were doing different kinds of workouts like grunt work, Rocky IV style workouts. Bro, if you give some of these young cats probably somebody else's training routine, Mike Tyson in his prime, Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, they be gassed. They cannot do that. I guarantee you they cannot do some of the training regimens from the fighters of yesteryear. Some people don't even barely do road work. Like they do a little bit. So I'm not convinced with none of these young fighters until I see more. And I give everybody that same like grace. Nobody's earned it until they've earned it. Like Crawford, he's earned his spot. Floyd, Andre Ward, all these people type, they earned their spot. Like I knew Crawford been nasty. I've been telling y'all. Like I was at his fight with Postal. I've been know the kid was nasty. I've always said that. Shakur is like good, but until I see you be good versus some competition I want to see you fight, I can't really give you that. Like Shakur, I'm not even being funny. Shakur has not fought one person that I wanted to see as my first choice for him to fight. Not one. Like I never looked at William Zepeda as the guy to beat. I mean, you guys could go look at my content. When have you ever heard me like Zepeda? Everybody else was like Zepeda, Zepeda, Zepeda. You ain't never heard me like that. Shakur Teofimo, even it's like iffy. They both counterpunch. That has the potential to be fights like that. I'm gonna tell y'all how this works. Fights like that are gonna be one extreme or the other. It's seldom in between. When you have two counterpunchers like that, it's gonna be really good, high technical work, or it's gonna be really bad and dull. It's usually nothing in between. Also, when you get two elite southpaws that are technical, it's going to be really good or it's going to be really slow down pace and not that great. So I'm not really convinced that Shakur Teofimo is um, a legendary fight. I'm not at all because of the styles. Like for me, Tio versus Subriel Matias, that would be interesting. Matias looks to be very durable, but he's there to be hit. T.O. showed he can box and he's athletic with power and he has some rhythm. So that is more intriguing to me. Or if Shakur is fighting at 140, fight Gary Antoine Russell, a youthful black fighter with aggression, some boxing ability, Olympic experience that is going to throw punches and bunches. These are way more from styles make fights, people. And it's the same thing with Crawford. Crawford fighting Canelo, that was the right pick if you're going to move up. People now saying David Benavidez, bro, that is not a good stylistic match for Terence Crawford. It's not. Appreciate what he did with Canelo, give him all the props. I'm good with that. These other dudes ain't Canelo. They don't fight like him. Beterbiev. I think Bivol, Beterbiev, and Benavidez would be bad stylistic matchups at 175 for Crawford, for sure, at this point of his career. I don't care how good he looked with Canelo, because styles make fights. David Morrell, that would be a very difficult fight for Crawford. If you were managing Crawford, who would his next fight be? To be honest, I think he should retire or do a novelty fight. Because you've already done, you need to keep working on the brand, bro. You've already got like the 3X undisputed. You're at the end of his career. I don't see fights with the much bigger guys being great looks for Crawford. Like, I mean, it's a good fight, like if he fought Benavidez, but that don't sound right to me. I don't like the matchup for Crawford. So I think he should fight like Ilya Taporia, Nate Diaz, something like that. Those guys called him out. Fight a novelty fight and get your bread and, and keep it pushing. I wouldn't have no problem. I mean, really, I wish he stayed at 54 because there's a better fights there for me. I actually like brittle hands. Yeah, he definitely needs to step it up. Nah, Shakur's cool. But here's my thing with Shakur. He talks too much. I'm not even trying to be funny. That's it though. He just types and talks. People don't there's only so much you convince people of in that regard. You're better off just showing actions. Don't tell us what you're going to do to TO, just do it. You'll get more respect. It'll go further. You know what I mean? Shakur will constantly like preview I feel great in the gym. Like People don't want to hear that, bro. I mean, would y'all give me more credit if I talked about all the videos I want to make or if I just made the videos? You feel what I'm saying? I feel like y'all would give me more credit just by putting the work out, which is what I've always done. You don't want to hear me, oh man, I got a good video for y'all coming and you guys are going to like this video. Ah. You guys will be like, man, shut up and put the video out, bro. As a creator, I appreciate the level of content you put out. Man, just keep rocking with me. We got a lot more. Your boy ego's working. That's all I can say. I got a lot more. How much more do you think Spence has in the tank? I mean, I don't know. I think he could give it another run. But my thing is this: I think Spence would be better off abandoning the no tune-up stuff. Like it sound good, but you see how inactivity hurts careers. You know what I'm saying? So I think he should like humble down in that regard. Don't be like, oh, I'm Mr. Man down. I don't do tune-ups. You could keep saying that, but then you're gonna put yourself in a position where if you lose again, then it's like, all right, you didn't take no tune-up, but you should have. But then people, what I've noticed from boxers, they're stubborn and defiant. So boxers oftentimes do stuff too late. That's the biggest thing. The pride won't let boxers do certain stuff in real time until it's too late. Like people are like, man, take your career serious. Then they're like, oh, I'm in the best shape. Yeah, but you washed now. Who cares if you're getting in the best shape of your career? People wanted you to do that 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Or people would be like, oh, I switched my trainer. You know what I mean? That's cool. You switch your trainer, but you should have switched your trainer like Joshua. Joshua should have switched his trainer before he got knocked out a couple times. You know what I mean? Like you would have been better off. Yeah. So you know what? Another reason why boxing feels dry. I'm gonna tell y'all. If y'all want to know the true reason, I'll break it down right now. Why boxing feels dry. I'll explain it like nobody else has explained it right here, right now, on the spot. Make sure you use Ego's link. Yeah, definitely get the vidIQ and TubeBuddy if y'all trying to get on your YouTube bag. I got y'all. If y'all want me to tell y'all, I'll tell you why boxing is suffering right now. And it's gonna make a lot of sense when I break it down. Well, probably got to save it for another conversation. I'm about to get out of here, so make sure y'all hit me up. I'll be back with some more heat. I got to get back in the gist of streaming, so I don't want to do too much today. But continue watching. I got some more heat. I'll be here. Peace.